Hi, it's Miss Michele, and I'm coming to you today to give you our weekly art session. So the only thing you'll need today is actually a chair, a table, sit down in, a quiet place where you can watch this video, and a pencil, an eraser, and a piece of paper that is attached to this email. It's called lines. Lines have names that describe their place in space. So once you get that, have mom or dad or your caretaker go ahead and print this out, and then have a seat, and we will go ahead and start. And in the meantime, so you can press pause, and I'm going to flip my camera to where you can look down and see what I'm doing. All right, here we go. Okay, so you should have your paper and your pencil and your eraser. Probably won't need the eraser because this is just learning and exploring. Go ahead and put your name at the top. So I'm going to put my name, Miss Michele. Okay, so lines have names that describe like their place in space. And so if we were to look at this ruler as a line, it's, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that it'll go. So like there are different ways that lines can go, and just as you're looking around your room or around your house. So there is vertical, diagonal, and horizontal. So this way is vertical. When you think of vertical, always think up and down. So this is like from the floor to the ceiling, or from the ground to the sky, those kind of lines. So a lot of trees are vertical when you're going up and down, right? So this one is called horizontal. So horizontal is like when like your table right now, if you look at the end of your table, if it's a rectangular or a square table, the end of the table will look horizontal. Or if you have like right here on my wall, I have something called a baseboard, not a baseboard, a chair rail. And so this is horizontal for me. So it's from left to right. It's from this hand to this hand. So if you draw a straight line between here and here, this is horizontal. If you're ever at the beach, another way to remember this is that there's a horizon line when you're looking out over the water, and you're standing there playing in the water, or playing in the sand, making a sand castle. If you look out over to where the sun meets the water, when the sun sets, you'll see something called a horizon line. And so it's again, it's straight, it's back and forth, from the left to the right, or to the right to the left. So that is called a horizon line. And so horizontal lines are ones that go like this. And then you also have diagonal lines. Now diagonal lines, whoops, are like this, from like maybe this corner to this corner, or they could be from this corner to this corner. So sometimes, I'm trying to think, sometimes if you're at a barn where there's like cows and horses and stuff, on the doors that go back and forth, there are horizontal X's, or not horizontal, there are diagonal X's, like this, like this. And there are, what other ways do you see? So sometimes, all right, so if there's an ironing board at your house, the legs underneath the ironing board are diagonal. One's this way, and one is, let me grab another ruler, one is this way. And then the ironing board is on top, so the ironing board would be horizontal. So this is what I would like for you to do with this piece of paper, is I want you to, where you're sitting, look around the room, and for every, I'm going to start off at the top with the diagonal lines. And so for every diagonal line that you see in your house, and just go ahead and sit there for a second. And if you can see one, then go ahead and draw it. And so when we also want to draw our diagonal lines the way that they are. So I'm going to draw, and I'm just using my pencil. You can have whatever type of your favorite drawing utensil. It could be a pencil, it could be a marker, a colored pencil, crayon, totally up to you. But we're gonna go and draw a diagonal line. So for example, in my studio right now, I have a wicker basket next to me that its lines go like this. So I'm going to draw just one line. Let me see if I can make that darker for you. All right. I think I need something darker. So I just grabbed another marker. Let's see. Is that better? Yep, that's better. Okay. So I'm in my wicker basket. I see a bunch of lines that go back and forth, but I'm only going to draw two to represent the wicker baskets. And then I'm going to look around. Oh, and I see an art project on the other side of the room where I have, they're kind of like really long triangles sticking out of a canvas. So I'm going to leave a space right here, and I'm going to draw two more. Okay. And let's see, what else can I look around? I see a painting of a sunflower. And so the petals of the sunflower are diagonal at some point. So I'm going to draw two more lines just to represent those. Okay. And just look around. I have a window in my studio, and so I see a branch of a tree that is diagonal. So I'm going to draw that for the branch in the tree. And let's see what else I have. On my calendar, I cross off the days with diagonal lines. And one of my paintings has an X on it. So that's another diagonal line. Okay, so now that we have all these diagonal lines for different parts of the house, I'm going to color them in. Let me get a marker where I can color them in for you. Yeah, this is some Indian ink. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in. And that's what I'd like for you to do. You don't have to color them all in. We're going to color in like every other one, okay? Actually, my marker doesn't. I need something else. Let me see. Here we go. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a permanent marker. You do not have to use a permanent marker. Go ahead. If you have crayons or whatever you're using, go ahead and use those and fill those in. And we're just thinking about diagonal lines right now. And now I'm going to skip a space. And then I'm going to fill in this one. And so just filling that in, thinking about diagonal lines, where they are in my house. And you know, if you have not been able to find enough diagonal lines to go all the way across your page, you can get up and go find some. Just make sure that you're drawing them on a flat surface. So otherwise they'll become bumpy diagonal lines. So All right. There we go. So I've got that one. And then I'm going to do this one too. Just filling in these lines, okay? And remember, we're going every other one. Yep. And then I'm going to have this one. I'm going to color this one in. And if you don't fill them all the way in, that's fine. We're just, right now, we are focused on paying attention to what is diagonal. And again, it's from like one corner, not this kind of corner to this corner, but from this corner to this corner, okay? Or from this way to this way. And if your lines go this way, that's perfectly fine too. All right, so we've got that. And I'm going to do this last corner because this is still a diagonal line right here. Okay, so now we have our diagonal line. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do little dashes in between to show that even dashes can be diagonal lines. So I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to do a little dash like that. And another dash like that. And then one in in between here. Yep. And then here. And then here. And finally here. Okay. So now you have all of your diagonal lines. All right. So now we're going to go to vertical lines. And if you remember what we talked about earlier, vertical lines are the ones that go up and down from top to bottom. Like if you're sitting at a table and it has legs at each corner, it's a rectangular or a square table, and it has legs at each corner, those legs go up and down. Let's see. The lines in the refrigerator on the outside where the door is, those go up and down. The lines in the doorway, they go up and down. Those are also vertical. Then you have, when you first walk into your home, the lines that frame the doorway, these ones, the ones that go up and down, those are also vertical. And the kitchen cabinets, I'm sure, are vertical. And so if you look around your house right now, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do lines up and down that are vertical, or that are vertical, that represent different things in your home. So I have a painting in front of me that has two vertical lines, one on the left and one on the right. So I'm going to do one for the left and one for the right. Okay, because we're going to this next spot right here. And then I have my window that I mentioned earlier that has also two vertical lines. So I'm going to go one here and one here. The stool that I'm sitting on has vertical lines to hold it together and hold it up. So I'm going to draw two vertical lines for that. This piece of paper has a vertical line here and a vertical line here. And each one of the boxes has vertical lines. I'm only going to draw two lines for that though. All right, what else? My ruler has two vertical lines. So I'm going to draw vertical lines there. And I have a letter M on my wall for Michele. So I'm going to do two vertical lines there. And I also have my studio table, my desk, that has vertical lines. Okay, So just like what we did before, how we filled these in, we're going to fill these in. Okay, so go ahead and fill them in one at a time. And just think about in your house and where you would see, like for example, if we were in the classroom right now, the cabinets on the wall would have vertical lines. The chalkboard would have vertical lines. The windows would have vertical lines, right? Can you say the word vertical? Yep, that's right. Good job. So vertical, yes, vertical lines. All right, let's see what else. So remember, vertical is always top to bottom, like most trees. Now, not all trees go top to bottom, go straight up, but a lot of them do. Some of them kind of, I've seen palm trees that kind of curve up, and that's not necessarily vertical, but I think you know what I mean. All right, so I've got this one. Still thinking about what is vertical in my house and in my studio. If you are having cereal in the morning and you pour your cereal out of a box, the outside of the box part that goes up and down, that would also be vertical. The milk that you drink, if you drink milk, and that would be vertical. Trying to think, fruits and vegetables, do they really have any vertical space in them? Probably not, huh? All right. Well, what else do we have? There's so many tall buildings at the church. If we were to be outside, those lines would also be vertical, right? Yeah, they would be. And then just one more set. So go ahead and fill this in and fill them in to the best of your ability. Take your time. There's no rush. Okay, so I've got that all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the dots on all the different sides. So vertical dashes, right? These look more like if mom and dad are driving down the road, right? The dotted lines in between is what they're called. They're really dashes, but for whatever reason, we call them dotted lines. All right, there we go. So again, this is diagonal lines. These are vertical lines. All right, now we are going to do horizontal lines. And so remember, horizontal lines are like if you're at the beach and you're watching the very, very edge of the sunset where the sun meets, or where the water meets the sky. That is called a horizon line. So horizon is the root word for horizontal and the root word for, well, horizon, yeah. All right, so let's look around the house and see. So the top of my window has a horizon line. So I'm gonna do one line all the way across like this. Okay. And let's see. The painting that I had mentioned earlier that had 2 vertical lines on it also has 2 horizontal lines on it. So I'm gonna do a horizontal line and another horizontal line. And mine are a little bowed, and I apologize for that.
Hey, Mom.
Hold on. In the middle of teaching a class.
Oh,
What can I help you with?
just got done with my homework.
All right, good job, bud. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Horizontal lines. My desk. There's another horizontal line. And if I look at the baseboard, that's a horizontal, like right here. This is a horizontal line from my view, because your view is up there. So I'm gonna draw this. Okay, so now I'm going to fill that in. I'm actually gonna choose this part because I kind of went really close to the top. I'm gonna choose fill this in. Go ahead and fill yours in. All right. And then I've got this part. I'm going to do, so when you're thinking about these horizontal lines, can you say horizontal? Yep, that's right, horizontal. Good job. We're going to fill all these in. I'm going to come back in. And you know what, depending on where you're standing, these could also look like lines in a street. If you're standing on the sidewalk, then it could look like this as well, especially once we get the dashes in. All right, so we have that and we have that. Good, so now we have, so horizontal lines, like a picnic table. If you're sitting at a picnic table, where the table is that could also be a horizontal line. Or if you're looking at a book, when you close the book, the top of it would be a horizontal line. Okay, and so now we're going to put the dashes in here. So now it does kind of look like a road, huh? All right. So this is basically what your paper should look like. If it's a little off, don't worry about it. That's perfectly okay. What I would like actually is for you to bring this in so I can see that you did it and that you understood it and answer any questions you may have. So that is it for today's exercise, for today's class. And so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again next class. All right, thanks so much. Bye.